A while ago I finished a LittleLocke of Pokemon HeartGold, a challenge where I had to do a hardcore Nuzlocke with only unevolved Pokemon. For details on a hardcore Nuzlocke, check the description below. But I didn't finish it all the way. I never did the Kanto region and I never did Red. I never planned on doing it, and because I never planned on doing it, I lost a lot of my best Pokemon in the Johto region's champion fight. Can we beat the mighty Red with only unevolved Pokemon and under hardcore Nuzlocke rules? Let's find out. But first, have you ever searched for something only to be blasted by ad after ad after ad? Well, there's a solution. Introducing Niva, the world's first ad-free private search engine. Niva is searched with one goal: to get you 100% real, unbiased results from experts, not who buys the ad spot. Unlike other search engines who cater to the highest bidder, Niva caters to you. Niva doesn't sell your data, has no ads, and blocks trackers. Niva gives you back your control and privacy because Niva makes its money off of subscriptions, not advertisements or corporations who want your data. By using my link in the description below, you can get up to a 24% discount on Niva Premium. Niva Premium gives you access to Niva and also comes with Bitdefender's Premium VPN and LastPass, a password manager, all included. That way you have true end-to-end privacy. Niva is available as a browser extension, a phone app, and on Niva.com. So what are you waiting for? Take back your privacy today. In truth, the Kanto region is incredibly easy at this point of the game. By now, you would have Pokemon of every type and TMs of every type. Furthermore, our Pokemon are at a high enough level where they would have learned the best moves for their type. Gym leaders being monotype means that all I have to do are caveman strategies where I click the super effective move 4 to 5 times in a row. That isn't particularly entertaining or insightful, so we're gonna skip ahead to Blue, the first actual tough gym leader. You're just gonna have to trust me that I did in fact use Surf vs Blaine and Earthquake vs Lieutenant Surge. Also, we lost Caterpie, Hoppip, and Mareep as sacrifices. They were not useful Pokemon. To prepare for Blue, we have to make a few preparations first. First, we get our friend, the Sticky Barb. You might remember this item when it carried us through our Pokemon Platinum LittleLocke. Sticky Barb is an item that inflicts damage on the holder. If an itemless opposing Pokemon makes contact with a Sticky Barb holder, the Sticky Barb gets transferred to them. It's an incredibly useful tactic to chip away its stronger Pokemon. Blue starts out with Exeggutor, and it's going to be important to bait the right Pokemon in at the right time. The plan hinges on the order of operations. We lead with Choice Scarf, Destiny Bond, Coughing, and Coughing baits in a Psychic type attack as the AI goes for the KO. Once we trade Coughing for Exeggutor, that baits an Arcanine. Here we sacrifice Execute holding a Sticky Barb to the Arcanine. It takes Flare Blitz recoil, but more importantly, the Sticky Barb has been transferred to Arcanine now, and it's going to be taking damage every single turn. You might notice that we do not have anything that resembles an Arcanine counter. That's because we're going all in on the Sticky Barb strategy because it sets up the late game. We now go to Zubat. Zubat is a sacrifice whose only job is to waste one turn with Protect to get more Sticky Barb damage. After Zubat goes down, we go to Snubbull, and everything has been timed exactly. Arcanine will knock out Snubbull, but it will take a lot of damage in Flare Blitz recoil. Arcanine doesn't faint, but that's okay. That's why we gave it the Sticky Barb. The Sticky Barb finishes off the Arcanine before Blue has a chance to use a full restore. The combined recoil had to be perfect. If it took too much damage, then Blue would have used full restore early, and if it took too little damage, then Sticky Barb wouldn't have KO'd. The reason we had to go through all that drama instead of just bringing a water type is because now it sets up the perfect endgame. By fainting with Snubbull exactly, that baits in Machamp as we go to Abra. Abra is holding a Twisted Spoon and throws off a powerful Psychic to knock out Machamp. Then, Blue goes to Rhydon, but we hit it with Grass Knot, a TM that we picked up earlier. Blue now goes to Gyarados, and while we do have Shockwave, we don't actually knock it out. Gyarados' high special defense lets it live the hit, but that's part of the plan. Gyarados knocks out Abra, but now we have a free switch into Magnemite as Blue will always go for a full restore. We go to our Choice Specs Magnemite and knock out the Gyarados with Thunderbolt as Blue uses that full restore. Pidgeot comes in next, but we use another Choice Specs Thunderbolt to knock it out for the final Kanto Gym Badge. The strategy was very reliant on getting the order right, because we had to bait Arcanine early to save the Abra Magnemite combination for the last 4 Pokemon. All we have left is Red atop Mount Silver. We can get encounters in the Kanto region, but I've ignored most of them because they weren't very good. Funnily enough, if we backtrack to Cherry Grove City, we could get a Guts Talo there, but earlier I caught a Magikarp there instead. Thanks, Magikarp. Instead, we catch a Diglett in Diglett's Cave and a Doduo in Route 28. We have to use a Repel manipulation strategy to catch Doduo. By using Repel with a level 41 Pokemon, and because we can't catch duplicates, we can guarantee to encounter a Doduo. Finally, we head to Mount Silver to take on Red, the true final boss. We start with the Diglett we caught earlier to outspeed and knock out the Pikachu in one hit. Easy enough to start. Lapras comes in next and it's both powerful and tanky. I'm happy to sacrifice Diglett for a little bit of damage as it dies in one shot to a super effective hit. Then I go to Mankey. Mankey needs to hold a Black Belt item, but with that and the damage from Diglett, Mankey is able to knock out the Lapras. Charizard comes in next and now we have to dig deep into our strategy playbook. Red has some of the toughest Pokemon in the game, but even the strongest forces in the world can't beat an enemy who understands their environment. That's right, we're going to use Mount Silver's Hail as a key part of our strategy. We protect on Mankey to get a little bit of hail damage on Charizard. Charizard uses Flare Blitz to attack Mankey. Charizard has a lot of moves that can KO and it picked Flare Blitz randomly. I appreciate the recoil but I didn't need it. Then I go to Staryu. Staryu has a type advantage, but Charizard is still pretty tanky, so I have to use Substitute plus Protect to slowly rack up damage with Hail. Slowly but surely we're accumulating damage until finally Charizard is in range of Mystic Water Staryu and we knock out the Charizard. This is pretty tame as far as Hail strategies go. We have a lot more coming up next. Venusaur comes in next and we stall a little bit more with Protect and Substitute. But we aren't stalling just for Hail damage. We're stalling for Hail damage on ourselves. Venusaur has Giga Drain, which means it can heal off damage. We want Staryu to be as low health as possible before it faints. That way Giga Drain regains as little HP as it can. Before we faint, we get off some damage with Ice Beam to set up our next Pokemon, and Venusaur recovers very little of that Ice Beam damage. We go to our Doduo with exactly 21 HP. Doduo outspeeds Venusaur and knocks it out with Drill Peck, and the item's Sharp Beak gives it just enough power to guarantee the KO. After Hail, Doduo drops to 11 HP. If Staryu had critical hit the Venusaur before fainting, it wouldn't have KO'd and then Red would use a full restore. Doduo would then need 2 turns to knock it out. One attack on the turn Venusaur uses full restore, and one attack on the next turn. 21 HP gives us exactly the buffer we need in case we accidentally critical hit. And here is where the real Hail strategies come in play. Snorlax comes in next and we use the move Endeavor, which reduces the HP of the opponent to our HP, in this case 11. Snorlax knocks out Doduo, but now, before Red can use a full restore, Hail finishes off the Snorlax. All that's left is Red's final Pokemon, Blastoise. By using Scarf Rattata with exactly 1 HP left, we can outspeed Blastoise and hit it with Endeavor, bringing it down to 1 HP. Once again, Blastoise knocks out Rattata, but before Red can use a full restore, the Hail knocks out Blastoise. 5 deaths later, with only Magikarp left, we finish off Red's last Pokemon and we become the true champions of the Johto and Kanto region. Thank you guys for watching. I figured I should finish off the Kanto portion of the HeartGold LittleLocke even though I didn't plan on doing it at first. Check out the full HeartGold Nuzlocke and the Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke too.